What makes you think your case is worth $1 million in terms of a settlement value? Want to know the answer? Come join me for a walk along the beach as I share with you the answer to that question. Hi, I'm Gerry Oginski, a New York medical malpractice and personal injury attorney. You believe in your mind that your case is worth at least $1 million. You might have the opinion or the perception that your case is worth $10 million. Maybe you believe that your injuries are so severe and so horrible and permanent and long-lasting that you believe your case is worth $20 million. My question to you is, where do you obtain that detailed information from? How do you reach that conclusion? And you know why I ask that question? I ask that question because the defense is going to ask that question of us. So come join me on this walk as I explore how you believe and why you believe that your case is worth what you think it's worth. All right, so now let's go back for a second. You suffered significant harm and injury as a result of a doctor's carelessness. And now you are unable to work. You are unable to put food on your table. You are unable to do the type of activities that you used to do before all of this occurred. And now you're trying to figure out how you're going to live your life without pain, about all the medical expenses you are incurring, about all the surgery and the medical treatment you are going to need in order to correct or try to correct the problems that you're having. You know that you are going to need additional medical care for the rest of your life. You have been told by various treating doctors that you will require various corrective surgeries to try and fix the problem. And not a single physician will guarantee that you will improve or, in some respects, be totally cured. You have been told that no matter how many people try to fix you, it's unlikely you will ever improve. So now as the days and weeks and months go on, and now your family is deprived of you as a caregiver, as a family provider, as someone who is providing guidance to your spouse, to your kids, now you can no longer do any of that. Now you are sitting and wondering, okay, what is the value of my case? And you come to the conclusion, somehow, that your case is worth $1 million. And when you tell me that, the first thing I ask you is, how did you reach that conclusion? Did you base that upon something that you read in the newspapers? Something that you saw on TV? Something that you heard about? Something that you heard a neighbor of yours suffered some sort of injury and brought a lawsuit and was able to settle their case for $1 million? What do you base your valuation of your injuries on? You may come to me and say, I think my case is worth $10 million and I won't settle for a dime less. Or you might come back and say, you know what? No amount of money could ever compensate me for all the harms and losses and damages that I incurred as a result of this doctor's carelessness. So I don't care if they offer me $20 million. I'm not taking a dime less than that. And I would ask you the same exact question. How did you come to the conclusion that your case was worth X number of dollars? What did you base that conclusion on? And I'll tell you why that's a very important question. Many people who raise these issues, many injured patients who come to me and raise these issues, all have valid concerns. They all are concerned about being able to provide for their family. They're concerned about the pain and the suffering that they have endured on a daily basis that they will incur into the future, for the foreseeable future, for the remainder of their life. They have been told that there is nothing that can be done, even with pain medication, even with corrective surgery and treatments, that their conditions are going to be permanent. Now, what do you do in that instance? How do they know? How do they figure out the value of their particular injuries? Well, let me share with you a couple of things that go through my mind in analyzing the answer to that question. Let me share with you a couple of things that I look at in order to properly analyze those issues that you are now considering. Number one, we look to see how old you are. We look to see whether you are working, whether you were employed beforehand. We look to see whether you are supporting anyone financially. We look to see what daily activities you are unable to do or limited from doing on a day-to-day basis. We look to see what it is that you will need into the future. Will you require certain medical equipment to help you get around your home? Will you require modifications to your home? Will you need corrective medical care? Will you need corrective surgery? Will you need ongoing physical therapy and rehabilitation? Will you need physical therapy, speech therapy, occupational therapy? All of these are considerations and go into valuing the extent of your injuries. Do you require pain medication on a daily basis? Do you require narcotic pain medication? What is the likelihood that you will become addicted to the various narcotic pain medications that you are taking? What other side effects are you likely to experience with those types of medications, those narcotic pain medications? What other conditions are preventing you or inhibiting you from getting back to normal or going back to as best normal as possible? What venue are we in? Meaning, what county are we in New York? All of these factors go into analyzing the full extent of your injuries. Now, I should also tell you, it is critically important that we reach out to your treating doctors to talk to them about their opinions concerning your ongoing prognosis. What does that mean? Your treating physicians are in the best position to evaluate your progress and your prognosis. They are the ones who see you and see what progress or lack of progress you have made over the course of time. They are in the best position to evaluate the likelihood that your condition will improve, whether it will stay the same or whether it will get worse over time. It is very important as we approach trial that we go ahead and have these discussions with your physicians. Why? Talking to your treating physicians is a critical component of helping us understand what the value of your injuries are. If your injuries have resolved, if you have no permanent long-term injury or disability, now we know we are dealing with a fixed, finite period of time in which you suffered significant harm and injury. On the other hand, if in fact your injuries are progressive, they are worsening, they are continuing, and are expected to continue throughout the course of your lifetime, now we know we have a much more substantial valuation of your particular injuries. And then we have to analyze what similar cases have settled for in the past in the county in which you have brought your case, what the likelihood, and we have to do a risk analysis of what it means if we were to go to trial and the likelihood of getting a substantial verdict at trial, as well as the likelihood of getting a positive result, a favorable result, if the case were to be appealed. All of these factors go into coming back to you and answering the question about what is the true value of your particular injuries. So don't think for a moment that just because you say to yourself or you heard someone else say, you know, I got $500,000 from my injuries and your case seems so much worse, you should be getting at least $1 million. That type of conversation with your neighbor or someone that you know who had a case that they brought and now they settled, that's all well and good. However, there are so many things that are different about that particular case that does not apply and will not apply to your particular case. Some injured patients come to me at the very beginning of the case and say, listen, my case is worth $1 million. And which I will say, how do you know that? And more importantly, if you are still receiving ongoing medical care and treatment for your injuries, there is no possible way to know exactly what the true value of your injuries are. Why? Because at that early stage, we will likely not know whether your injuries are permanent, they are disabling, and whether you will need ongoing corrective care and treatment into the future for the remainder of your life. So why do I share this quick information with you? I share it with you because we see this often. We see this over and over again. I see this over and over again, where an injured patient says to me, you know, my injuries are worth X millions of dollars. And now when I ask them what the basis for that opinion is, they are unable to articulate a clear-cut basis other than, oh, I heard about, I saw about, I read about, I know that these types of injuries go for X dollars, and now I know my injuries are so much worse, and they should be going for much, much more. You know, I recognize you're likely watching this because you wanted to see the beautiful beach. No. I recognize you're watching this video because you likely have questions or concerns about your own matter. Well, if your matter did happen in New York and you have not yet started a lawsuit, but are thinking of doing so and still have questions that need to be answered, what I invite you to do is pick up the phone and call me. You know, I answer questions like yours every single day, and I'd love to chat with you. You can reach me at 516-487-8207 or by email at Gerry, Gerry, at Oginski-law.com. That's it for today's video. I'm Gerry Oginski. Have a fantastic day.